This is your favorite time of the week with your number one podcast.
Hear my true story.
Well, my dear listeners, welcome back on Hear My True Story podcast. It is me, your host, Otako, and I'm excited to share with you this wonderful episode on Hear My True Story podcast. Yeah, my dear listeners, I know that you have been a lot waiting to know what's happening. Why is Otako not onto the Hear My True Story podcast? Well, my dear listeners, it has been quite difficult for me to get back on the road of podcasting and doing YouTube. Yeah, I did get some podcaster burnout, I would call it like that. But I was also a little bit busy in my previous weeks and month, and I was thinking of how to make the podcast more better, and also had events that I was running in the city of Hamburg. So it was quite difficult for me to coordinate the podcast and share my personal stories at the same time, do the posting of the stories on this wonderful podcast. Anyway, for those who are listening to Hear My True Story podcast on any podcasting streaming platform, thank you so much for listening and following Hear My True Story podcast. And for those who are watching this wonderful podcast, Hear My True Story on YouTube channel, thank you so much for listening and watching our wonderful episodes on Hear My True Story podcast. So, my dear listeners, today, I want to share with you a wonderful story, a wonderful conversation. Anyway, this goes to the people who are thinking of coming to Germany, and you're an immigrant or you're a migrant in Germany, or maybe you are thinking of taking your next step to move to Germany as an immigrant or as a migrant. Listen careful. There are so many things in a German culture that you need to learn as a person. But today, I just want to talk about the German greeting culture. The greeting in German is quite different. And people in Germany pay attention to the greeting. That defines who you are. In Germany, we have two forms of greeting. There is the formal greeting, and of course, there is also informal greeting. Well, you want to know my personal experience from each of these? Stay on this wonderful podcast and you'll get to know what I'm talking about. Yeah.
Enjoying this episode? Leave a review now.
Hear my true story. So, well, my dear viewers and my dear listeners, we are starting with the formal greeting. What is the formal greeting in Germany? So, in Germany, there is greeting where you address someone with Herr or Frau. So, it means you need to address someone with that title, either Mr. or Madam. And the moment you put either Mr. or Madam, you need to follow with the surname. It's really important if you're in that formal greeting to know what exactly you are going to address. For example, you may want to know where can someone
use the formal greeting. Of course, you can use the formal greeting in formal situations. You go for a job interview, you go to university, you find your lecturers, or you go to school, you find your teachers. They want to be addressed with the formal greeting. So as a person who has come to Germany, you need to really understand in what situation am I, and how am I going to greet this person, and how am I going to use the formal greeting. For example, personally, I've experienced something when I was in school. I could find difficult whether do I use the formal greeting or do I just use the informal. And actually, it's not bad. There are people in the schools, or maybe the people in the formal greeting, they will tell you, me and you, I need you to address me formally. And it's clear when they tell you that you need to maintain the formal greeting. In my school, our teachers were able to let us know, well, some of them told us, I need to be addressed formally with Mr. or Madam. Others told us, no, you don't need to address me formally. And that was also okay. And then I was able to know who do I address formally or who do I address informally. And also when I meet someone for the first time, I definitely address them formally. And then they are to let me know, okay, Otako, you can address me informally. These two things are very important in Germany. Herr, Frau. You say Herr, Otako, or you say Frau, Otako. And you know what you are talking about. The moment you mix up the two and you don't know whether it is formal or informal, you are in big problems. So that's what I can talk about greetings in Germany formally. And this formal greeting can also be followed by body language, because greeting is not all about saying the word Mr., Madam. It's about also the body language. You see, in each culture, it's different. From my personal experience, from my culture in Uganda, I can address a person who is respected in my society formally, either with a handshake with two hands. One hand shakes and the other one holds the other hand, and then with a bow. A bow meaning that I may not look at the eye contact of the person, but I may bow down as I greet. In Germany, a handshake that is really firm and eye contact means a lot. You meet the person for the first time, you're addressing them, and if they give you a handshake, you give them a tight handshake with the eye contact. I see you, you see me, I'm communicating to you, I'm saying hello to you. And that's how you earn your respect for that. But then when you come here, because you have a lot of respect for your elders from your home country, and you come here, you just give someone a handshake and then you bow down, you don't look at their contact, you don't look at their eye contact, you are in total mess up. So that's how things can be really confusing in greetings in Germany. And then now there's what we call the informal greeting. Well, the informal greeting is the greeting where you can greet with your colleagues, maybe your workmates, maybe your friends, maybe your people in your friend circle, or maybe people that you know already and you have been with them that's okay. That's informal. You can address them how you want. You can address them with their first names without using surnames. Because the moment if you're in informal greeting and then you use a surname, it is weird. Someone will be shocked. Someone will be not respected. Well, you know me, I'm Otako. Why are you addressing me with my surname? Just call me my first name and it's okay. That's the casual. But also the casual
It's important also when you're greeting someone casually to have the eye contact, because in Germany, body language is also important. Yeah, you are talking to me casually, but you need to look at me. Yeah, there are people who talk and they don't give eye contact. Maybe that's their culture. But here, look at someone. And also there's the thing of something that I've experienced as a person here in Germany was the thing of the hugs, the kisses on the cheek, and, these handshakes. How do I define who gets the hug, who gets the kiss on the cheek? You need to know who. Because even though it's casual, there are people you meet for the first time casually. You don't need to give them a hug because they don't expect a hug from you because they don't know you. You'll bring a hug to them and they'll just step back, or they will offer you a handshake because you just met them for the first time. So you can't give them a hug. And then if you know someone for a long time, I know Otak for a long time, we've been meeting, you give them a hug, they'll take the hug because they know you. And maybe I know this person more and more, maybe they'll take a kiss on the cheek. That's if it is something that you have been using with that person in your casual greetings. But also in casual greeting, there is always a line. Let me tell you, Germans pay attention to people when they overstep their lines, either in casual or in formal greetings. You need to know where your line ends. That's how you define greetings in Germany. It is important for you as a person to know which is exactly and where, who gets the hug, who gets the kiss on the cheek, who gets my handshake. Who should I give a Abstand? I call like a space, a distance. That's what they call German greeting culture. In my culture, I can meet someone for the first time and it's casual. I can give them a hug. I can give them a handshake. I can just say hello. I can give them a palm, high five. And it's okay. I can be next to them. I don't know them. We are meeting for the first time, but here people respect lines. You don't just overstep someone's line. It doesn't work like that in Germany. So if you're coming to German, pay attention to that, my dear viewers. And for those who are watching this wonderful episode and you are thinking of coming to German, I remind you, greeting culture. And yes, I remember when you talk about greeting culture, casually, you may meet someone and you don't be shocked when you tell them hello, and that's enough. Because that's the casual beginning. You have met them for the first time. Hello. How are you? I'm fine. Done. However, in my culture, I come from Uganda, where you can meet someone for the first time and you want to get to know them for the first time, the first day of meeting. You may ask them, how are you? How is your life? How is work going? Do you have work anyway? Okay. Do you earn enough money? Well, is everything okay at home? How are the chicken? How are the cows? How are the goats doing? Yeah, are they fine? Do you have kids? How are the kids doing? How are your children? Do they play well? Do they eat well? What did you eat last night? Did you sleep well? For the first time you meet someone in my culture in Uganda, it is okay to ask them such questions. But pay attention, my dear migrants and immigrants in Germany. When you come to German, either casual meetings for the first time, people don't expect detailed greeting. People in German culture expect small talks. When I talk about small talks, I'm talking about talks like, how is the weather outside? It is raining. You talk about that. It's okay. But don't go into personal topics or politics. Here, people don't like it. You meet someone for the first time, you can tell them, hello, how are you? Oh, it is raining outside. Yeah, it's raining. Oh, yeah. Did you see? It is going to shine tomorrow. Yeah, I've seen that. Yeah. Just like that and bye. That's the German culture. You don't expect too much. So, my dear listeners, after my experience, I'm laughing. I'm laughing because I experienced this. I met someone for the first time and I greeted them in a Ugandan way. I went in details. People were shocked. They didn't like it because I went personal. I went to ask personal questions. They didn't like that for the first time. And even though when you know them for some long time, you can't go personal questions. They need to be your friends. Because friends are the one who get to know the personal issues of their friends. But if someone is not your friend, you can stay on the small talk for even a year. You meet yourselves today, you talk about the weather. You meet yourselves tomorrow again, you talk about the weather. The next day, you talk about the weather. Here, weather is allowed any time of the year to ask it. But you don't talk about personal things. No, it's not allowed in Germany. So anyway, my dear listeners and my dear viewers, and maybe for those who are thinking of coming to Germany, pay attention to the greetings. And I know there are people already listening to this podcast or to this episode and they're already Germans, they live in German. Well, let me tell you, my dear German friends, your culture is sometimes shocking. Yeah, to us what seems normal seems abnormal in the German culture. Don't be shocked. Don't be shocked when you meet someone and they just give you a smile and a hello. Yet you have seen them every day. They only give you a smile and a hello. Every day. That doesn't happen from where I come from. When I see someone every day, then I'm able to say, these are my friends. In German, they are not your friends. They see you, they know you maybe, but you are not friends. Friends will be another topic. Yeah, someone wrote me a comment in one of my videos, how do I make friends in Germany? Don't ask me. I did already an episode on that. You can go back to my episodes and you'll know what I'm talking about. So anyway, my dear listeners, a quick close up of this episode. My dear listeners, when you come to Germany, pay attention to the greeting. Are you in a formal situation? Are you in a formal situation? Don't overstep your line. What do I talk about? What don't I talk about? It is very important to know where your line is and not overstep other people's lines in greeting. Well, my dear listeners, it has been me, Otako, the host of Hear My True Story podcast. And I want to tell you, thank you for supporting this wonderful podcast, Hear My True Story. And for those who are listening for the first time, this is the Hear My True Story podcast, the best podcast that I know personally. Yeah. And for those who are watching for the first time, tell a friend to know about this wonderful YouTube channel. Let them subscribe. Let them know what they want to share about. They can also share about them on this wonderful podcast. Yeah. Thank you for listening. And I want to say bye for now. Till next time, as we talk about another topic. It has been me, Otako, the host.
We not only have voices for a podcast, but also faces for YouTube. Don't miss your next episode. Hear My True Story.